Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 1st of November 2022. 1st of November already, only 2 more months of the year. Just seems like 2 seconds ago that I was welcoming in this year, and here we are pretty much at the other end of the year. And here in the UK at least, we just put the clocks back, so it's getting dark by 5 o'clock now pretty much. And yeah, sadly we've got at least 4 months of dark evenings and chilly weather to look forward to, but you know, you've got to make the most of any time of the year. It's no good kind of bemoaning and wishing that, well, basically a third of your life you didn't have to put up with, because yeah, that's what we've got. But there are going to be quite a lot of good things happening over the sort of next few months. I think I'm going to be attending various events, which I'll mention a bit closer to the time. And kind of talking about bad events, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think the events of the November 2020 and indeed what happened last November will be happening this time round. I really can't see it, and I think people have well and truly turned the corner on this. And one of the things that makes me say that, you might have seen this story. A subscriber left a link to this in my Telegram group, so thanks for that. But a certain Professor Emily Oster, who wrote an article for a publication called Atlantic, is calling for an amnesty, would you believe? So what she's saying is, let's declare a lurgy amnesty. We need to forgive one another for what we did and said when we were in the dark about the lurgy. So she's literally just said that yesterday. Well, the first thing that jumps to my mind is some of us were more in the dark than others. If you'd done your research properly, you'd have known it as a load of old BS right from the start. But let's just see a couple of things she was saying in times gone by. 13th of November 2020 this is. She's basically calling for lockdown over Thanksgiving week 2 years ago. Then in July 21 she was also in favour of employer mandates and also treatment mandates for students as well. So, you know, she was certainly a big proponent of both lockdowns and essentially enforced treatment. So not exactly a paragon of virtue, not exactly a, you know, well, she's not on the right side of history, is she really? But unlike many people who are sort of flaming her, I'm going to take this as a positive. More and more of these people who were just so anti the likes of us and so pro the whole lurgy narrative, I think are now starting to see that they were very much on the wrong side of history, very much in the wrong, and they are starting, I see this as them starting to put feelers out to see, well, you know, how little punishment they can get away with, essentially. She's obviously calling for a complete amnesty, not exactly an apology, but I think it is a recognition that she and the likes of her have been in the wrong over the last couple of years. Now I'm expecting to see many choice comments in the comment section below. I'm sure many people are going to sort of say things along the lines of she can take her amnesty and stick it where the sun don't shine. And yeah, I've got a certain amount of sympathy on that. And yeah, especially when you bear in mind that people like her would have happily seen the likes of you and me thrown out of our jobs, excluded from society, excluded from theatres and pubs and restaurants and everything else. So she's not going to go unpunished, I don't think. But then again, if I was a soldier and I was sort of taking enemy prisoners, people surrendering, I'm not going to sort of turn my machine gun on them and start shooting them either. It would be up to me to take the prisoners and then send them to the rear and let others bring any enemy soldiers who deserved it to justice. And that's really my take on it. If she deserves to be punished in the future, I'm sure that will come, whether that's through courts or being sued. I'm sure that sort of thing will come to the likes of her. And also, you've got to consider what she's going to be facing in the afterlife as well, in when she's sort of going up to her day of judgment. She is going to be held to account there, and if that's, even if that's the only accountability she ever faces, mark my words, that will happen, and she'll have to face the consequences. But I think there'll be other consequences for her as well. But I'm not going to sort of call for anything drastic. That's really down to others who are in a more sort of knowledgeable position than I am to come to those sort of decisions. And yeah, all I'm going to say is I'm glad to see these people are starting to see the error of their ways. I welcome that, and if she's going to face any kind of punishment, if these people like her are going to face punishment, then yeah, it's going to happen. But I'm not going to call for it personally. You might think I'm way too forgiving, and I suppose I am really. I'm not really someone who wants to see other people sort of harmed or hurt. But there again, I do think that justice needs to be done as well, because there's been a lot of suffering on our side caused by people like this Professor Emily Oster. So I'm going to leave it there. I think I've rambled on long enough about this subject, but please do leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you think people like this lady and all of the others should be offered some kind of amnesty or clemency, or do you think they should be facing something a little bit worse than that? I'm expecting, like I say, to see many a choice comment. So please do that, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.